Hi, so I'm going to show you my semi low budget and semi basic summer skincare routine for Melasma Girlie. And I watch a lot of makeup tutorials, but I feel like most of them are by like 21-year-old influencers who don't have the same skin as a 36-year-old, especially one who has melasma. So as you can see, I do have a bit of hyperpigmentation, especially in my forehead, across the top of my cheekbones, some enlarged pores. I also have a scratch on my face because I'm a klutz, and a little bit of hormonal acne here, like I get it in my jawline occasionally. So we're gonna try to tackle all of those things in a pretty basic, pretty low budget routine. I've already done my skincare, or my skin prep, I should say, because we did go swimming in a chlorine pool today, and I feel like it just sucked all the moisture out of my face. So the first thing I did is the Bioma Milky Toner, and then secondly, the Clinique, it's like dramatically different moisturizing lotion. This one's a little bit pricey. I think this bottle was $17, and you can see it's not that big, but it does last a long time. I think it's a really good investment piece. So our first step kind of bridges the gap between skincare and makeup. This is SPF 50. It's called a concealer cream. It doesn't conceal anything at all. It does kind of even things out and give you a really nice base to work with. This product is, I believe, $7.99 on Amazon, so pretty good budget-wise. So just about 2 pumps, and that'll do the whole face, focusing more on the forehead because that's where I get my melasma the worst. And then I'll carry that all the way down into my neck. Okay, these next two products I kind of use interchangeably, but most often I'll actually mix them. So this is SK Forever Red Ginseng Foundation. This product is only like $7. Now, this one is a little pricier. I'm not even sure. Ilia, maybe? It's a skin tint, and I love the finish of this product, especially when mixed with this, because this one's a little more full coverage and this is a little less, so it gives you a nice blend. Plus this tone for me is a little bit too dark to use on its own. But Super Serum Skin Tint SPF 40. This one does not have any SPF, so another good reason to mix. Okay, we're getting serious now, so I'm gonna pull the hair up. That all out of the way. And then, so both of these products you need just a tiny bit, so about that much. And then this one, it's a serum, so it has the dropper, but it's a lot more like liquidy. So just a little bit, mix them together. My husband always says it looks like I'm smearing peanut butter on my face. So you could apply this with a brush or with a sponge. I prefer to use my hands because I like to think of it as skincare. Like I'm rubbing this into my skin like I would a moisturizer, lotion, or whatever. And I also feel like if I use a brush or a sponge, I have to use more product. So just make sure hands are nice and clean and just rub it all in. Okay, so that's all rubbed in. I didn't add any more than what I showed you, but even like that scratch over here, it's nice and blended, but it still looks like skin. It's not a super heavy coverage, I think. Okay, for bronzer and blush, I usually kind of flip-flop between She Glam, these two products, or Physicians Formula, this stick. If I'm traveling, I usually just take this because it's just all in one and nice and easy. So I'm going to use a little bit of both. We'll do this one for bronzer. And always do the jawline. And then I think we'll do the She Glam for the blush. I think these were like $6 a piece. And then the Physicians Formula, I think was around like 12 for that stick. Look at all these base brush for this. Okay, at this point we've got bronzer, got our base, we've got a little bit of blush. Some days I would just stop here, that's enough. But we're pretty glowy, so I think I'm gonna do just a little bit of powder. Okay, for powder, this is also not really a low budget product, but Laura Geller, her baked powders are amazing. Mine's almost gone. It's not gonna really give us a whole lot of coverage. Now, you can use it for coverage, but I'm not going to, because the way I'm going to apply it is just like the lightest amount. What the heck? Just the lightest amount, stippling it into all those really dewy areas to mattify it a little bit. If you apply this with an actual foundation brush, you can get phenomenal coverage with it, and it's actually a really great product to just use by itself, but it's not what I'm trying to do today. So I think this is the point where a lot of people would do concealer, but I'm not gonna do concealer. I'm doing this like really sheer, I guess it's not super sheer, it's actually quite highly pigmented, but super light pinkish powder. And I do that across my eyelids, like not being super precise. I don't really do eye makeup very often at all, maybe a couple times a year. This is the extent of it. And mascara, sometimes a false lash, but okay, because I have blush blindness, like for real. Gonna do another blush. This is the Physicians Formula Bronze Booster. It's huge, it's shimmery. This product actually smells delicious. Like, you don't think of a powder necessarily like smelling good, but just a little bit. Try to lift that face a little bit on the nose, and then what's left over on the forehead, just for that like actual natural glowy, kind of slightly sunburnt summer look. And for eyebrows, since we're keeping it basic, just doing this like little eyebrow pencil. These things are cheap as hell. I think 3 of them on Amazon was like $5. So fluff her up a bit. Good to go. All right, time for setting spray. Before we do the mascara or lips or anything, that's usually when I go in with this. It's Naked Sunday SPF 50. So just another layer of protection that you can reapply throughout the day. Another layer across the forehead. Okay, while that was drying, I did my mascara, just a light layer. So we're just basic today. Nothing crazy. For lips, I'm doing the Timeforia. It's like a lip tint. And this stuff I think is about $14, so not exactly low budget. But when you consider you're going to apply this once a day. Okay, so this is normally where I'd call it quits, but since we are talking about melasma and how sunscreen is super important, I'm gonna add in one more sunscreen product. This is a mineral setting powder, and it's SPF 35. So you can apply this on the go, like, and you can apply this at a concert while you're, standing in line, getting ice cream for your kiddos, whatever you're doing. If you just need another layer of protection, it's just all built in. Give it a little shake, and I mean, it's light, it's not covering anything, it's just protection, and does kind of get rid of a little bit of that dewiness. All right, this is what we're looking like in the glow of the fancy lights. but let's do the true test and go outside and see how it holds up in the sunlight. Okay, natural light, no filters.